Hello everyone, welcome to another session with me. I'm Sanyukta Saxena and today's tangle is called Twing. Yes, the tangle, the strokes are pretty much similar to many of the tangles that we have already learned, such as static, such as maze, such as charts, right? So many similar tangles. However, there is always some difference, right? So let us first learn how to draw the basic pattern twing, and then we shall, as usual, draw a tile together, practice the pattern, learn some variations, see some variations, right? So just like I mentioned, the tangle charts or static, it just starts with the zigzag, right? And then what I'm going to do is aura this line like this, right? And then I'm going to be adding or joining these two peaks using these curved shapes, slight C shape. Alright, again one more about halfway through this triangle, and again alright, right? So same thing in all the sections that I've created. Block these two corners with this curve, and again in the same direction about halfway through draw these two lines again, right? Again same stroke, and about halfway through again double lines, slight C shape, add an aura, again halfway through in the same direction add another two curves, again two lines and another set of lines, right? So this is the basic of the pattern twing, and we generally add orbs in the first section, that is the top section, which has the cone or which is the triangle, right? It's not that it has to be one size. Basically we are adding the pattern tipple. You can vary the size, you can keep the size same, anything, right? Whatever you like. So the basic tangle goes like this. It has the tangle tipple, an integral part, right? Again, when you vary the look, you can replace tipple with something else, right? So this is the pattern as is. Even ing or ing starts the same way, right? So this stroke, the zigzag, is pretty familiar, pretty common in Zentangle. And the next section, I am just going to add lines. So straight lines with or without break, without highlight or with highlight, whatever you like. But this is basically straight lines like this, yeah. So if you want to add a little texture, you can add some broken lines. Don't worry about whether they are straight, they are not straight, that's okay, all is good. So you can add straight lines. Again, both the sections give you opportunities to play around. I'll show you a few examples, and we will also play around as we draw today's style, right? So I have added simple lines with the highlight at places. You can also add, tangle like mist. In nails we have fine crinky lines. You can also add those. Everything will look nice, right? But this is the pattern as is. And a nice way to shade is to add darkness along these lines inside, right? You can also add under this, right? So you can also highlight the second aura, that's another way. But generally you can generally add on the zigzag. So that's a nice way to shade the tangle. Again, as I keep mentioning, it depends how are you combining it with other tangles, what are the fillers that you have used. So a lot depends on that also, right? So this is the most general shading, and just blend it, and it adds a lot of dimension just by adding shade under this line, because the curves pop up, they look like folds, and the ends recede, yeah. Again, leave a highlight, don't cover the entire thing. leave the center the way it is, and use a chalk pencil to highlight it, right? So that's the way to generally shade your twing. Add some highlights in the center. Right? A small weight under the lines also adds a lot. So just use a bolder pen or add a little weight under the line, and you can see the drama that it adds. Yeah. So this is the basic tangle. Let me show you a few tiles before we proceed to draw. So just to give you an idea, this is again, you can see twing. However, both the things, the basic patterns have been replaced. This is a fragment and this is echoism with Xander and squid, right? So this is again twing used very delicately around, just like a border. Inside is trickles and sand swirls, right? Simple tile, but you can see how beautiful it can be used as a border or as an enclosure also. Again, in the center, the teaser that I posted with some muka and some five. Again, a tile that I posted. This has twing on one side, fescues, gorgeous, right? So you can use it in so many different ways. It's just about arrangement, and you can create different compositions. So today also we'll try something new, right? So let us use twing again running across my tile. This is a regular square tile, and I'm going to start right away. This is O8, so switch to your O1 or PN, whatever you are comfortable with, and just start with your zigzag lines like this. Freehand, no rough and fair work in Zentangle. Yeah, all is fair and all is good. Again, aura. So that's the basic we do after drawing this zigzag, right? You can add a pattern inside this aura also, right? So you can always add some orbs inside this aura if you really want to deck it up more, right? And then again, these curvy lines that I mentioned, double lines. So first curve, second curve, again, first add in one direction, then you can add in the other direction, right? Now you can rotate and do the same exercise on the other side, right? So I'm basically connecting the lines in such a way that they look like in a continuation. Yeah. Again, same direction. These two lines to be in the same direction. Again, right? So once we are done with that exercise, now let us try something new. So I'm just going to probably add some other pattern here. Let us see. So I'm going to start with line with a little weight on one side, something like the pattern gorgeous. So I'm drawing a curved line and adding some weight on one side, right? Let me show you. I drew a line, another line, some weight, another line, some weight, like a mini gorgeous or a fragment, whatever you may want to call it, right? Again, straight line, again a little weight, little weight, little weight. So choose a tangle of your pattern of your choice. There's so many things that you can fit into a triangular shape. Yeah, so up to you, whatever you want to. If you want to stick to the basics, please do that. If it is your first tile with twing, it is always a good idea to add tipple, as it always looks nice. right? So again here same thing, draw a line, come back, add some weight on the other side, draw a line, come back, add some weight on the other side. So just adding a little boldness to the lines, right? A little boldness, a little curve is all that you need. Just vary the pen pressure when you are coming back. Press it a little harder as you return. That's all that you need to do. Yeah. Now the second portion again up to us. Let us add some nice mukas. So if you are new to these patterns, you can always refer to my earlier videos. Watch them and get back, right? So yeah. Rotate your tile, add some nice beautiful mukas. Yeah. So I'm just going to do that exercise, and it would be a good idea, I think, to fill up the rest of the space, ink the rest of the space. Most likely I'm going to do that. Right? So I'm done with drawing the mukas, and I'm filling in the small little spaces that is left in between. You can see I have also inserted some orbs here and there to fill in spaces. Yeah, so muka nicely used as a filler here instead of plain lines. So just filling up the small little spaces left in between the muka, inking those spaces slowly, inserting an orb here and there. Yeah, so take your time. Slowly ink those tiny little spaces left in between your mukas. If spaces are a little big but not enough for drawing a muka, you can comfortably fill in using some tipple, some orbs. Yeah. That's it. I think we are done. Redefine some lines here and there. Yeah, right. So that's our twing. Now moving on to the rest of the tile. Now I'm going to be drawing a version of W2, which Huggins, which is called W2, right? So you can draw the pattern straight, or you can use a pencil grid if you are not comfortable drawing it right away. So I am drawing here a square grid. Yeah. So this is a tangle which is similar to the pattern Huggins. However, we replace the circles or orbs that we draw in Huggins with boxes here, but same technique of alternate and mirror is used to draw this tangle. Yeah, so I'll draw this slowly and you can watch me. Right, so I'm using this pencil grid. However, once you have enough practice, you can entirely do away with this grid. Right, so at each of the intersections, I'm now going to now add a box like this. Right, so take your time and add a box and ink it, a square at the intersections. Right, again you can draw behind at places if it is partly visible. Yeah, that's about it. Moving on to the other side. Again, start with the box. So this is a very simple pattern to draw, generally taught to beginners because it is a technique based pattern, and this technique is used often in quite a few tangles. Right, so I think we are almost done with the boxes. Yeah, so once you are done with the boxes, now we'll start connecting them. So up and down, that's the process that we have to follow. Right, so once you have drawn one, so the other one, the next will be a mirror image, right, and then just alternate it. So when I say alternate, it is up down, and when I say mirror image, one side is this, so if you put this in front of a mirror, it will be on the other side. Yeah, so again same mirror image, start here and then just alternate it and connect with straight lines. That's one more difference between Huggins and W2. Right, we use straight lines to connect, whereas in Huggins we give a slight curve to the lines, and these boxes are replaced by orbs. Yeah, so two basic differences between Huggins and W2. Again, this one will be a mirror image, so on the other side again keep alternating. Right, this one, first one will be a mirror image, then just keep alternating. Again a mirror image, keep alternating. Right, and then just rotate and do the same exercise the other way. Right, so if I start here, this will be again a mirror image, just keep connecting. Yeah, again mirror image, right, start with one mirror image, in out, that's what I am following here. Right, again start here, in, so make sure you keep the lines straight, we are not adding curve to the lines here. Again, so this way it is alternating and this way it is mirror. Again inside Right, so we are done with the tangle W2. Right, so this tangle is very three-dimensional. Basically it gets its dimension on how you shade it, and it is looks beautiful on shading because we shade on the intersections. Right, so I'm going to stick to this. We'll see if we want to add something inside our W2 later. Let us first shade, because generally we don't require anything else, right? So I'll shade the way I have shown you. I'll add some graphite on both sides of each of the triangles. So you can see twing looks so different here just by varying the inside, the patterns that you have added, right? So many variations. So possibilities are unlimited. But first, I would advise to draw it the way it is before you start playing around, right? You must remember the basic pattern first before you start to play around with it. Otherwise, it becomes something else. Not that it is bad. So it would be a tangulation anyways, right? So I'm just going to smudge that later. So add some graphite in these four sides wherever lines seem to be going under. Right, so again here, 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 right? So you will be able to see how beautiful such a simple tangle to draw, and how beautiful does it look like, right? So let us blend it, or maybe we'll first add to all the sides. Let's add everywhere first. We have forgotten to draw a line here. Yeah. Yeah, I think we are done. Let us now blend it with a soft hand. Just blend the graphite inside your twing. Make sure you have the center white, which you would like to highlight with white chalk. Looks ornamental like this, isn't it? Almost like a piece of jewel lying on your tile. Yeah, and then start blending your W2 softly. Don't blend too much. You don't want the entire thing gray. As I keep saying, both whites and grays should be discrete and visible. Yeah, so you can see already the dimension. It's look like a basket weave, the lines going over and under. Beautiful pattern. A simpler version of Huggins, you may say. So we have done away with the orbs and we have done away with the curved lines, right? So again, rotate and shade the other side in the same fashion. Take your time. Yeah. Right, so we are done with shading our W2. So it is now up to you. You can leave the pattern here, you can leave the tile here itself, right? Or you can deck up your W2 a little more, or you can add something to your twing also, right? So let us add a little bit of probably crescent moon in some of the W2s. Yeah. So I'm not adding it throughout. I will just add to a few like this, right? So this is again, you can stop, very much stop at this point of time, or you can add some fun factor here and there, right? So I'm just going to randomly pick up some of the sections and add some moons like this. Yeah, so if you want, you can add one more so that they touch each other. I think that will add a little more. Yeah, probably this one. Yeah, so these are small little things, again an enhancement or a tangleation, whatever you want to call, basically combining tangles to create a tangleation. Yeah, again you can add probably one here, and the other one will be hidden. Yeah, probably one here. So the other one would be more or less hidden. Yeah, again yeah, so I'll do the same on the other side also, add to a few. Right, another one here probably. So you can add any pattern of your choice. If you want to build that connection, you can have mukas moving around here and there. Even that can be done. Some of the mukas coming out of your twing and just hanging in here and there, right? So that's also an option. Right, probably one here. Right, so I think that's enough. Yeah, so I will leave it here. and add 1 or 2 black pearls here and there. Right, so these are entirely optional things, purely enhancers that you may not choose to use. Yeah, so let us now use our chalk in the center here. So just highlight this section where you have not added graphite with your chalk pencil. Right, yeah, and just use a different blending stump and soften it. Right, if you want you can use or touch it on your moons, entirely optional. Right, if you have a gray brush pen or even with your pencil you can do that exercise. I have a gray brush pen handy, so I'm just going to add a little shadow. You can do that with your pencil. Add some soft line under the orb and then just blend it so that it looks like a shadow under your pearls. Yeah, so that's it. I'm going to close my tile here. That's twing for you, and I'm Sanyukta Saxena. Right, so this is our tile for today, and I am again coming up with a special series. So fish is a very common motif, very common thing used in many of our Indian folk art forms, right, such as Madhubani and many more, right. So I thought of using fish with our Zentangle also. So basically a Zentangle inspired art which will contain fish, but we'll use all Zentangle patterns, all tangles, just that we will use the fish theme, right, and see what we can create using them, right. So that will be my upcoming series, and I'll see you again, right. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.